What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the History Hyenas. I'm Chris Distefano, a.k.a. Chrissy Earclogs. With me, Yannis Pappas, a.k.a. Yanni Husbands. Our special guest, our good friend for over 10 years. Our fucking, just, you know, a guy that we love, that we hang out with all the time. Fellow New Yorker, boxer, Puerto Rican kid, cute kid, bald head, loves snakes, loves Blizzy, Sergio Chicon.
Yeah. What up, Pa?
I'm chilling, man. I'm chilling.
Sergio Chicon loves animals, the Puerto Rican Ace Ventura.
That's right. I mean, Sergio.
When's the last time you did cocaine? Tell our listeners.
It's been a while, man, but every day I do get the urge. Some are stronger than others. All my addicts in the world know.
You gotta just push it down, right?
You just gotta substitute with some other good shit. You know, I'm now full of good things. Like, you see how I came through and I brought you guys smoothies, with, like, you know, blueberries, pineapples, and I know what the benefits of each fruit is.
Yeah.
Back in the days, it would have been a 40-ounce of St. Ides and a bag of Blizzy, and I would have been cheap with the Blizzy. I would have let me hold that down. But things change. I'm evolving as a human being, and I feel great, man.
Yeah.
You know?
There's times though where,
but you do have to run like 20 miles just
you gotta run 20 miles
to push the need for the Blizzy down.
To push that need for the Blizzy down, you gotta run, you gotta work out, you gotta eat right, you gotta take you gotta walk through a Petco, you gotta calm down.
Dogs, I just got substituted with a bunch of good shit.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm just addicted to good shit. And
your head's mad shiny.
Yo, mad shiny. Just substituted with a bunch of good shit, because that's the way it is. So everybody who runs excessively, they're running from something like in real life. Like,
right.
I like running. No, they're running from something. An abusive relationship, drugs, you know.
But it's good, though. But it's good to be addicted to good things. Because
Not when you run so much that you're peeing blood.
Okay, that's too bad. We're talking to you, Michelle Wolf.
Yo!
You know what I mean?
She runs a lot.
You ever been, so I'm in part of the runners community now, that I'm running the marathon this year, and they're fucking nuts. You ever hung out with a squirrel?
No.
That's the way runners behave. They're like fucking bugged out. Like, they're not normal because their awareness is so heightened. It's like super like clean. It's like, dogs, I need some fat in here.
Have you ever ran so much that you pee blood?
I boxed one time. So once I came out of like therapy, like, and I was like, you know, like 7-8 years ago, and I was going, you know, do my shit with drinking and everything. I went to therapy every day. 5 days a week, I would go to the gym for like 3 hours, overdoing it.
That's overdoing it.
Yeah, and like you couldn't put enough water in me because I was sweating so much at the boxing gym. And a couple of times, my pee looked like rust.
Yo, and that was blood.
Yeah,
it was dehydration.
That happened once or twice, but I feel like we need to share the hyenas.
Yo, for all the people who are not from New York or may not know, even if you're from New York and never heard about all the synonyms you could use for blow. Blizzy is cocaine.
White girl.
That's what it is. The white lady man. Snow. Yayo.
Yayo.
What's some good one? You know what Jesse Scatore used to call it? He used to call it the hoo-hots.
The hoo-hots.
The hoo-hots. I gotta get the hoo-hots. So, but yeah, it's good to be addicted to good things if you have an addictive personality. Some people just have addictive personalities, and it's gonna come out either in blow, in throwing hands,
in toots.
running, toots.
The puss.
Yeah.
Sergio's been helping me. I box with Sergio all the time. That's why I throw hands when Yannis and I talk about me throwing hands. It's a great Sergio Chicon. Sergio Chicon also
which, by the way, I don't mean to cut you, but you come a long way. Like, just even watching you hit the mitts today.
Yo.
Like, you're trimming down, your punches on the order. I'm proud of your family.
Yo, because you said,
at the beginning you said he couldn't hit.
You told Yannis some dirtbag shit. You said, yo, for a big guy, he don't hit hard. And then Yannis told me.
Yo, Yannis was quick to tell you.
And I felt good, too. I remember feeling like so good. And then I didn't come to boxing for 8 months.
Yo, Yannis.
You fucked up my whole progress.
There's two things about Yannis that I've known in the 10 years I've known him. He's very persuasive, and he's got a mean streak, and in those two, he managed to display both.
Yeah.
Like, he persuaded me to get some information that's like, that's as
it's
a
like
trainer,
personal.
it's personal. It's like a doctor. Yeah, giving out this fucking information.
Yeah.
Not to hold myself in those regards, but that's your private information. And I revealed it because he was so persuasive.
Yeah, it's like really like it was personal shit, very uncomfortable shit, and you told him, and then he exploited me.
Yeah, so then he was mean about it. He was like, "You can't hit for shit."
Yo.
Yo, when you punch, does the pseudo tit jingle a little bit?
It used to, Pop.
Yo, he don't got the jiggle anymore.
He's tight now.
I used to jiggle, right?
The left side only with
Yo.
the jab.
Yo.
Like a time your jab because before you threw it would jiggle a little
My
bit.
tit would jiggle.
That's where your pseudo tit is.
Yo.
Yeah. But now he's hitting good. He's punching hard.
Yeah, man. You know, boxing, it all comes from the legs, from the ground up. So if you're pivoting, that means you're rotating your hips and your core is engaged. And we saw it today, right? Getting that right hand in order.
Yo, you be
Like, you
careful.
get
I'll
the
stretch
crack.
you out, home.
Yo, stretch you out.
Stretch you out.
It's dirtbag.
yeah.
Tell someone I'm going to stretch you out.
Yeah.
It's dirt. That's how boxers talk.
I love the boxing jargon.
Yeah.
Like stretch you out. What is it? You want to get some of this work? Let's get what is it?
Yeah, when you're sparring, yo,
Yeah.
let's get some work.
Let's get some work. Dog. What do they call it? The
Dog work, dog house, when they're
Yeah.
talking about like
When they're in
a
dog house?
grimy gym.
Yeah.
Specifically, the Mayweather gym, like, yo, let's go in the dog house. You know, when they, those big.
The boxers say funny shit. Sergio and I sometimes will wear, because Sergio also comes on the road with me. Sometimes we will sit in the hotel room and play boxing videos, like the
Oh, this
promotional.
guy's talking shit.
So funny.
So funny.
Yo, James Toney,
Yeah.
he was one of the best shit talkers. I'll never forget the time I saw a video of him with his sparring partners,
My fault.
I mean,
and he's whipping his sparring partner's ass. You would think he would be like humble.
Right.
So he's talking shit. He's giving them body shots and liver shots. You know what I'm saying? Going back upstairs, saying, "You ain't shit, boy. You a bitch. You a bitch." After the sparring, after he whips this guy's ass, the guy tries to give him dap. You know, try to give him a handshake, and he just looks at him like that with a side eye and gives him a quick like, you know, like little dap.
Yeah.
But not really dap.
yeah.
And he was like, "Look at his face. Look at his swollen. I'll do to any of y'all. I don't care if you 120 to 240. I'll whip all your asses. I don't care if you lightweight or your mama weight. I'll fuck all you guys up."
Your mama weight.
It's a big part.
mama
It's
weight.
a big part of selling a fight is your personality.
Right.
Yeah.
You could be like, there's probably been a lot of great fighters, but that they never really rose up the ranks like other guys because they can't sell a fight.
Because they're not entertaining,
yeah,
man.
Cotto was not entertaining.
No, he let me go Cotto.
Yeah, I mean, they
fight
mo
for his
Cotto.
family.
But that guy could fucking
They
fight.
could fight, and Puerto Ricans really stood behind him, but not like the other Puerto Rican champion, Trinidad. Trinidad will walk through with the flag.
Tito Trinidad, yeah.
People loved him. He really embraced. He had his personality. He was an extrovert. Like people were warm.
Yeah.
he was warm to people. He would hug people. Cotto was very serious.
Yeah.
tight circle. You know, very
Yeah.
two different personalities, but they were both loved.
Do you
Yeah.
think boxing is getting taken over by MMA now?
I don't. I think it's not like there's so many other things to choose from. But I think boxing is here to stay. And I think as long as we have these amazing athletes, there's gonna be people who are taking part in the sport. It's never gonna be as popular as it was because there's just so many other things you can participate in and watch for entertainment purposes. Like it's like, you know, not only HBO, now you got Netflix, you got a bunch of other shit.
Do they have boxing on Netflix now?
No, what
No,
I'm
he's
They
saying
should
is
though. That
He's saying
actually
there's
that would
so,
work.
so many. It's competing with so many things.
Yeah.
Right.
You were just half tuned in, then you tuned in at the end.
No. I was listening. Joe Sergio's a successful fucking guy.
He
owns,
is.
He owns a spot in downtown Manhattan. His mom owns about 2 or 3 spots, and she owns a spot in Puerto Rico.
Well, the thing that he has in common with you, first of all, I want to say he got us smoothies, which was real nice. We
Yeah.
probably should have got him a little blizzy.
Oh, Blitzy. What,
Set
Serge,
me up right.
let me tell you one thing. This is the first time you've come up. You know, we've been doing this podcast 55, 56 episodes in over a year. Not once has Yannis ever brought me anything. The first time you come in, you bring 2 smoothies.
Yo, I gotta be honest with you, man. I don't do a lot of podcasts. I was like, at least if I bring smoothies, I could do at least 10 minutes on that. You know, I'm just trying to buy time. Like doing podcasts to me is like new to be, for like a new comic going on stage for the
Yo,
first time.
hey, yo, the disrespect. Like I know we're
So
your
I was trying to
boys.
buy 10 minutes by making smoothie jokes.
Yo, I know we're your boys, but like the disrespect of you to like come in wearing your workout shit.
Yo,
is
I didn't know this is- yo,
this shit is filmed. Yo,
Yeah.
bro, that's the same shit. I
I
trained with you, and you told me you were going home.
I did
to
go
freshen
home.
up.
I did go
Now
home.
you went home to feed your snake.
Yo, I'm glad it's not my black sweater that would have had pit bull hair on it. You can't see it with this
Yo,
sweater.
how many animals do you have?
I have 2 cats. One is a Persian. We bought for $500 off of some woman in the Bronx, and she was wild because she had like 30 Persian cats, and she was like, "If they get out of line, you whoop them." I'm like, "Excuse me?" She's like, "Yeah, you whoop them because they're naughty."
Yeah.
Yo, I was like, but it was like a 2-week-old cat. How do you whoop a cat?
So you
I
got
was
2 cats?
I got 2 cats. The other one's a Venus. It's a rescue. It's a mutt.
Yo.
I got a pit bull that is got from Tennessee, and I got 5 snakes.
Yo.
So you
and
see that-
listen, if you don't think that surrounding yourselves with that many animals like that is a subconscious way to protect you from your addictions, you got another thing coming.
If you don't think that having that many animals in your apartment illegally without licenses is a midlife crisis, you got another thing
It's
coming.
definitely a midlife crisis
Yeah.
because I owned animals as a kid and they made me feel good.
Yeah.
And I just want to feel good.
If you don't think that a guy who's got 4 or more illegal animals in his apartment also doesn't have a Puerto Rican flag outside his window, you got another thing coming. Those things go together.
So, you know these snakes? I think people will find this interesting. They're delivered via FedEx from Florida. Florida's a dirtbag state. They don't give you
Dirtbag
anything.
state.
You can get guns,
Yeah.
all sorts of methamphetamine, and your snakes come in packages like this. When they
Is that a
deliver me
snake in there?
No. I just got this. It's like I think it's.
Oh, I thought you brought the snake with you home. Like a live snake
that's
will
a
come in
skin
a
of
box,
that.
in a
That's what I'm
priority
saying.
mailbox.
Like this.
How does it not die?
Well, they're amazing creatures, man. So they'll deliver a snake to you, and guarantee a live arrival. But it's so funny to have like a FedEx worker and with purple shorts on, knocking on my door. He's like, "Package for you,"
And it's a snake.
And it's like a fucking hog-nosed snake.
You don't worry at all about like when you go on the road with me about one of your snakes getting out of the cages and attacking your family?
No, man, I'm a responsible human being, man. I lock the cage. These snakes are well handled by me and the family members. They're
Be
not
honest with me.
venomous.
Be honest with me right now. Tell
I'm
me
getting
true.
defensive.
Yo, true or
I got a
false?
little mad.
Yo, tell me the truth. At one point in your life, you were raising a baby alligator in your bathtub. Tell me the truth.
A caiman. Let's not get it twisted.
Yeah.
No, a caiman is an alligator, right? It's a caiman alligator.
Yeah.
The thing
Yo,
about
the dirtbag thing you told me once when you told me a couple of weeks ago when we were in DC about that thing you went on, that low ride and boat in Florida with you, your daughter and your
I
wife.
definitely have put my daughter.
And the alligators could have came and I mean, he told me like literally it was like a foot off the ground. Alligators could have come in and eaten everybody.
it was at Crocodile Land or something, Alligator Land. You know, some of these things that.
Yeah. But you're
they have all
comfortable.
of
You're comfortable with nature.
Nah, he's
Yeah, but
great
this,
with
this
nature.
is the thing. My daughter was only like 2 years old, and I went to visit my in-laws, and we're like in a small ass canoe.
Were you doing Blizzy at the time, making bad decisions?
No.
No, let's be
we
honest.
were all-
Let's be honest. Serge thinks about Serge first.
Yeah, so
what
I'm
it
thinking
is.
like I want to fuck with some crocodiles and alligators.
You don't
And-
give a fuck that you with your seed.
Yo, my seed was mad young.
Yo,
like you know when the seed is
and
so
mad
young.
frolicky.
Yeah, like frolic. They don't have no control. They're buying their hairs and be like mad fine. Like the way Yannis's hair looks. Like,
Yeah,
fine.
he got baby
fine
girl hair.
He got baby hair. It looks fine.
No, he's got
it
this,
looks
he's got
soft.
he's got little girl hair.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
do have
I
little
do.
girl. I kind of want to touch it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
It
got
looks soft.
Yo,
Like yours
man,
is thicker and
Yeah,
like yours
yeah.
looked like it was lighter as you were younger.
Yeah.
and it's like got darker. Yours looks fine. Like you've had your hair since birth. Like
Yeah.
that same.
Like his
texture.
hair never shed. Like that's the hair he's born with. It's always
Right,
stayed like that.
exactly.
I got
Yeah.
toddler's hair is what
You
you
got
said.
toddler's
So
hair.
she had the crazy toddler hair, and I had her in this like canoe, and
In
like there was
Florida.
it was infested. Like we went in 15 minutes. I was like, this shit's kind of whack. There's nothing here. And then the guy started doing something, like some fucking alligator noise, and then put his oar and started waking them up, and it was like literally infested waters. We were like surrounded. He was making them jump out the water, and I had a fucking. My daughter was like a year, 2 years old.
Even you were scared. You said.
scared for my life.
The thing
If you're alive.
about alligators, crocodiles, you don't know they're there. That's their
They
whole.
just pop
That's
up.
how they do it.
odds,
yeah,
yeah.
they just like if you ever there's a bunch
like
of
ghosts.
there's a bunch of videos where like the water is completely calm and then some dude comes and rattles a stick and they're like 15 alligators. You can see a few videos like that on YouTube. It's crazy.
we gotta look at a few
Because
vids.
that's what they rely on, stealth. They just fucking quiet. You're swimming along, you think everything's good, and then bang.
and that's what
ambush
boxing relies on,
predators.
stealth.
Yeah, ambush
Well,
predators.
sun boxes, right?
Yeah.
I like sun boxes. You said boxes.
Boxers, yeah.
Yeah, some boxes are super aggressive. Other boxes kind of set traps and wait for you.
Yo, let me be crystal clear and honest with you. The main reason I come to the gym where you box at is because a lot of the girls in there got fat asses. That's why I come and throw hands with you on specific days. Because
Yo, I've never seen Chris do like a 360. He does like Michael Jackson spins. Because
Looking at these
the
girls.
Like
Yeah.
he's not even discreet.
Yeah.
He's embarrassed.
No, Giannis is embarrassing when he's like, yo,
Yeah.
I'll crack that open and clean out. When he gets his head up and he's like a turtle coming out
His
of the
baby
shell.
hair fucking shoots up like a cockatiel.
Yo,
like
it's
that.
embarrassing,
when
right?
he sees toots, he goes like this.
But
Oh.
I'm creepy, right? With mine, I'm a little creepy.
'cause
Yeah,
You're just a bit older, and you're just
Yeah.
you just kind of like stare them down.
Yeah, and his glasses get mad foggy.
Yo, you really can't see where you're staring at.
Yeah.
Like,
It's weird,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, it's weird, man.
you think Chris has an addiction with it?
With the puss?
With the puss?
yeah. He's very aware of it.
Yeah.
He's
Yo.
got a grip on it, but he doesn't have a grip on it, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
I
Like
got a
it's-
grip, but I don't have a grip.
Yeah. It's like, he's aware, but he's still gonna go like that to that bag.
Yeah.
play
Yo,
with it a
hit
little
that
bit.
bag. Hit that blizzy.
That's his blizzy then, right?
Toots. Toots. Yo, honestly, man, what you've worked with Sergio so much, I've worked with Sergio so much. Yo, Serge is a fucking knowledgeable kid. Serge is a smart fucking kid.
Serge is-
I know he sounds like he went to DeVry, but he's a fucking smart kid.
Serge is a motivated.
Apex Technical School.
He's
Yo.
motivated. Serge is a hard worker. He's motivated, hard working.
Yo.
He pushes forward. He's perceptive. He's smart.
Yeah,
Most
but
of
let's
all,
be honest.
he's-
You said you don't bring him on the road anymore because he's too loud in the car.
I knew the hammer was coming.
No.
Let's
You
be
said
honest.
it's so from the upside. Bring me up.
Giannis got a speeding ticket and he blamed it on Sergio.
It was your
true?
fault. No, it's joking.
Yo, he's said that many times over. They
He's
have to
joking.
get you. Let's talk about it.
He's joking. But the thing about Serge that's funny, Serge is one of the naturally funniest dudes. But I guarantee you on the way to this podcast, he was stressing it. He was stressing out. Yo, how am I going to get to do my first 10 minutes?
Yo,
He's like,
that's
yo,
why
should
he
I
bought smoothies.
He's like, yo, should I do my pitbull bit? Damn, was Giannis going to... Yo, I'm telling he was doing that pitbull bit. That pitbull's been dead for 20
Yo,
years.
I got a new pit bull just to do the pit bull bit.
Yo, he still does bits about his daughter being in a stroller. She's 18.
I said the same thing to
Yo, it's
Angela.
hard, man.
I know.
Yo, it's hard to come up with new shit.
No, for real.
And then I finally tag it up.
Yeah.
And it's like, yo, this shit's 8 years old.
No, bro, you've
It's
been
hard.
ripping though. I would say
appreciate-
since we've been together, you've been ripping.
No, I appreciate it. Yeah, I gotta be honest with you. Like, I appreciate you guys, not only as comics who I really do enjoy watching, but because you guys give me a pulse back into the community again.
Yeah.
I never stop. But having that platform that you guys work
Yeah.
off of is dope because now I start to fall in love with stand-up all over again. And it's like I get my rhythm back when I'm
Right.
working with you, when I'm working,
Yeah.
because
and it's just fun to be on the road,
it's fun.
like
I'm
stay
having fun
healthy.
again.
Yeah.
It's good to go on the road. I love bringing Sergio on the road because not only does he rip, but I stay healthy on the road. If I go with other guys, if I go by myself, it's inevitably I don't work out as much. I eat like shit, but like to have a guy there who's got his health in check helps me immensely.
Let's make one thing is certain about Chris. He knows exactly what he's doing. He brings me on the road so I can train him for free.
For free.
Yo!
That's right.
He's a smart guy.
Yo,
I have to
cause-
smack
And I
chips
don't
on
even
his
get you.
tongue.
I don't even pay for your own room. I make you stay in the room with me. I get an extra bed, but I snore mad loud and I interrupt your whole fucking
Yo,
routine.
he farts like mass smoothie farts.
Yeah.
The most dirtbag shit Sergio ever did is I got food poisoning in Houston after I sucked the guy's dick.
Yeah.
I got food poisoning out there.
Yeah.
And I was throwing up,
Yeah.
puking, and then I fucking somehow got through the shows, but like it was bad. Like I thought I was gonna have to cancel the show at the comedy club because I couldn't perform. And then I finally feeling better. Would go back. First of all, I'm throwing up in the parking lot. Sergio is smoking cigarettes, blowing cigarette smoke in my face.
American Spirit, though. See, I evolved. It used to be
dirtbag.
Newport.
Yeah.
He's
Now
like,
it's
yo, you want to
American
go for a
Spirit.
walk, Pa? As he's blowing cigarette smoke in my face, I got puke on my chin. I'm like, yo, put the cigarette down. Then when we get back to the hotel room, this guy brings a fucking chicken sandwich and fries with mad onions and sauce, stinks up the whole fucking room, and I throw up again.
Yo,
Yeah.
just looking at him, I never blink my eyes while eating the
Yo, because
sandwich.
it's always Sergio first, right?
No, you know what it is? The thing about you...
He's mad soft.
No, yo, you want to know what...
mad soft. Yo, you know who else is mad soft? Mad Dog Mattern. Hey, Bert.
This is the thing about Chris.
Yeah.
Chris likes to... Chris is bobs and weaves, right?
Yeah.
So he throws the charisma around. He makes all the jokes. But the truth is, Chris is all about Chris.
Yeah.
If you're around Chris, he's getting something out of it.
Yeah.
And he'll deflect and call you a dirtbag. But really, Chris will, he'll buy you a smoothie. He'll bring you a piece of pizza. But most importantly, Chris is feeding his own face.
Feeding. Yeah.
Yeah.
Chris
He's
is
a
about
hungry
Chris.
kid. And
It's
Chris
the
is
only
about
Why does
Chris.
the lower jaw protrude out a little more like that?
Yeah. He's a German kid and he looks at us like swarthy trash.
Yeah.
Like when
Yeah.
you look at me, we're not even human to you.
Yeah. If you guys notice, there's a lot of times where I have a napkin up to my face when I'm talking to you guys because I get nauseous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You need us around because you look at us as slaves.
Yo, remember the time I fucking the funniest thing too that happened. Well, it's probably I don't know if it's funny on the podcast, but when I got mad nervous in the elevator in Providence and I tried to make fun of the charges and I bombed.
Yeah, we did that on the podcast. We told
talked
them.
about
we talked-
not without
yeah.
Sergio.
Oh, I was there for the repeat listeners, man. I was there when Chris. The thing is that with stand up, like you can't think about it too much, right? We all know that, right?
Right.
And I think what happened was like Chris saw the football plays. This is like Super Bowl weekend. No,
it was AFC Championship.
Yeah, it was like playoffs, right?
Yeah.
So Chris saw the players like 2 times before, and he was working himself up. He's getting himself like energized.
Yo, and
he,
then
he
bombed.
definitely wants to entertain them. He wants to get them to a point where they would laugh at some shit that he said. And we were on the elevator, and you were like, "Yeah, you guys are gonna win. And if you guys want to come to my show tonight,
I got mad Tom Brady jokes to the San Diego
Yeah.
Chargers.
And you said
could
it
hear a
mad
pin
fast.
Yeah.
Yo, and they like all looked to the side, and
Yo, and then they got their asses busted.
Yo, you became real darty. Like your head wants to leave your body
Darty!
so quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, he got like.
Yo, and then I tried to work out around the treadmill.
Fast enough for you.
Yo, man, and I remember sweating on the treadmill, man, fat tits.
Yeah.
It
was a dark-
That was a good time though. Giannis laying on his stomach in his underwear, on the phone being nonchalant. Remember that?
Yo,
every time we came
Giannis
back to the
wears
room, like a
briefs
princess.
that are baggy. You wear baggy briefs. They're supposed to be tight. So I can tell you wear your underwear for 4 days straight because they're bag in the back.
Yeah, sometimes what's happened is I have lost and put on so much weight that I have.
You look good now, though.
I got different clothes that have been stretched out or too. Sometimes I'll have a medium shirt. Those are from when I was 193, but
Right.
now I'm back up to 206.
Right.
But I still got the same medium white tees. So I got underwears where I had a waist 32. Now I'm back up to a 34, and sometimes I'll just wear the waist 32s now that I'm 34, and sometimes I wear the baggy ones when I got all sizes because my weight fluctuates. I'm a fat kid.
I know all your white tees have yellow armpit stains.
They do, and they're too
100%,
tight. Yeah,
right?
they're too tight. Yeah.
Yeah. But with Serge, what I was fascinated by, and why I wanted to have him on the podcast, is because when we were
Because you
driving,
wanted to train today.
I want to train today. It just makes it easier if I can get in with him from 12 to 1, and then he just comes at 2. It's just, you know what I mean? It just works for my day. I know you have to get babysitters and all that. I really don't care.
Complete inconvenience, but I'm happy to be here.
Yeah. But you inspired me. Remember, we were talking in DC about you. I realized I didn't know anything about Che Guevara. I just would see him on T-shirts, and just people would tweet him and be like, Che, and I was like, oh yeah, who's this? And then you inspired me to watch this documentary.
You enjoyed it?
No, I didn't read the book, but I watched this 8-part documentary on Cuba called Cuba Libre from the beginning till now, and it was fucking unbelievable.
It really
and
is.
And you read
right?
the book.
Yeah, that book by John Lee Anderson took me like a year to complete.
Did you read it on the toilet? How do you read a book like that?
Fuck, man, it took a long time.
Because
there's like terms you don't understand. It's like a real heavily. It's a politically heavy. Like it's a.
So you would just have to stop, Google
I would
that
have
word.
to stop. Yeah, and this is like in 2001. I read that shit so long ago. So I took my time with it. You know?
And you were born on September 11th, Pop.
That's a dirtbag birthday.
That's a dirtbag birthday.
Didn't used to be. It was a good one.
Yeah.
No, right? No,
Yo,
it was never
what-
a good birthday. You know why? Because it was always the first day of school. So I always had nervous energy on my birthday.
Yeah.
Butterflies, but crispy kicks.
Yeah, you always had
Nervous
crispy kid.
energy.
Yeah, because you had new birthday
And a
kicks.
haircut.
Yeah.
You
Yo.
know, but nervous energy.
Yeah. You ever see old pictures of Serge with hair?
Oh,
When
he had a
the-
sick blowout.
He had the shape up.
Yo, Serge is a good-looking cat.
Serge is a good looking kid. Yeah.
He looks good bald, too.
He does
'Cause
look
he
good.
big
Bro.
set.
Yo,
shit.
they said it like Pete Dominic, though. I look like a healthier Pete Dominic.
Yo,
You
Pete
do.
Dominic's bitter.
We both got a lot of mouth. That's
man.
the similarity. He has an alien head, but we both have the mouth.
Big ass mouth.
It's like a wet
The
mouth.
overbite.
It always looks wet.
Yeah.
My mouth
Yeah.
always looks wet.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you just have
always,
the
yeah.
shape of your mouth, but you know what? It's deceptive because your teeth. You got good teeth.
I don't have bad teeth. What I have is a upper lip that's too short and
Yeah.
it reveals a lot of teeth. Like my teeth shouldn't be out
Yeah.
all day,
I'm really, really,
but they're out. They get
out
dry.
all day. I'm really happy that your daughter looks almost 100% like your wife.
Yeah, that would be
because to have
weird.
another face out in the world like that would be real fucking
One thing
annoying.
about Liz-
But your daughter looks exactly like your wife, so it's
Yeah.
great.
I know
She
one
does.
thing about
Yeah.
Liz, her side of the family, my wife's, they have nice high cheekbones.
Yeah.
I know. I'm very
No, your daughter's
slopey.
beautiful. Your wife's beautiful. But if your kid looked like you, I'd be really agitated.
You would be offended.
I'd be offended. I'm like, I don't even want to look at your Instagram.
Yeah, no,
'Cause
it
I
would
can't
just-
look at that face anymore.
It's just better for her in her life that she
'Cause
looks like
you're
Liz.
right. Your
She's
teeth
gonna
are
move
always
around
out.
differently with
She's gonna
Liz's
move around
face.
a lot more confident. If
Yeah.
she was moving around with your overbite and that look,
She would be on the blizzy.
yeah.
Yo,
Yo.
I dated a girl who looked just like me.
You.
Some girl from Brooklyn, bro. We both had overbites. Our teeth used to be like, it was a battle. We started,
Yo.
yo, I swear to God, it was like, you ever, teeth.
I've hooked up with a couple girls who just their teeth were too big and you just hit
Big
yeah,
teeth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if
Yeah.
she had the same overbite as me?
Yeah.
We were like that.
She didn't have any. Did she have lips?
She had big, nice lips, but we
Yeah.
just both had big teeth.
Yeah, you kept knocking into each other.
Yeah. We
Wait, so when you read that book, the crazy thing you told me, tell them about how people used to get tortured. Remember?
The one thing that I found like interesting about Che is like a lot of people thought that he was Cuban, and he was this like well-to-do kid from Argentina. He's like Argentine kid, right?
Yeah.
And he was his family was like upper class. And what I really found inspiring about him, like, because I was never like really into like even my Puerto Rican history. What I found interesting is that he was a privileged kid that took it upon himself in the middle of going to medical school, get a motorbike with his friend and tour Latin America. And that's why he had his political awakening. So he saw that all these people.
So it started out as just like a vacation, some cool shit to do, to enlightenment. He wasn't anything political aspirations yet.
Right. And I found that to be like moving. The fact that he just took it upon himself just to visit different parts of Latin America.
Right.
And in his travels, he's seen like people living like dirtbag lives because the United States had their like what he would call their tentacles all over the place.
Right.
And the rich who were rich in this country were super dirtbag rich. And the poor were like dirtbag poor, and there was no movement. Like there was no way you could have like move out.
So that
of
inspired you.
So yeah, I thought
I guess not that much because you read the book in 2001 and proceeded to blizzy and drink beers and contribute to your addictions for another 15 or some odd years.
I even took a line off that John Lee Anderson Che book. Like,
off page 35, it's got blizzy stains.
You know what I'm saying? Cut from a razor blade.
Yeah.
So I found that interesting, right? That's a selfless act, and you don't hear about that. At least I never knew of a leader that did that. Started so young
because there was absolutely no reason for him to do it.
Right,
he was already had the gift.
So that felt like very human to me, like that, like empathetic and compassionate. I was like, holy shit. So he had, he was a doctor, so he would cure people for free.
Yeah,
and he would help people, and
it also helped. I think what also helped his legend too, like many other things, he was a great looking guy. Yeah. Like that fucking. So that's why he's like everywhere. It's like I feel like when I was watching that documentary, at some point Fidel Castro made him like one of the face of the revolution at one point, simply because of what he looked like. I mean, of course,
he loved the puss. He was like Chrissy D. He loved the puss.
Did he really?
Yeah, he loved the puss.
Well, they loved him. I mean, look at what he looked like. Go Google Che Guevara. He's a handsome kid.
Yeah. He had a whack beard though. He didn't have a beard like Yannis. Yannis got a majestic king
with that little gray patch. If you think that he doesn't know about that and he leaves it there on purpose, you got another thing coming.
That shit
knows
smooth,
what that is.
Though.
I should keep the beard, right?
Keep the beard and keep the gray patch. It looks good.
You could get. See, I shaped mine up. Like I put my finger here. And I got.
Yeah.
You just kind of let it grow out.
Yeah.
Like that's majestic shit.
Should I straighten it
I mean,
up?
you should, but you don't know how to do it.
I don't know how to do
so
it.
You're gonna be moving around like with a crooked ass beard. Then you're gonna be your head is gonna be offset. Then you have one eye and fucking a crooked beard. And
Does it look good though? Not shaped up.
I personally think it looks good.
Yeah.
I mean, just clean up the neck a little.
Clean
bit.
it up.
Right?
Yeah.
That shit goes down to your nipples.
But honestly, I mean, we're talking about beards here. I mean, we're supposed to talk about Che. We're supposed to be talking about Che.
Yo, so Che. Oh, what the fuck were we talking about? Oh yeah. So he was.
Yo, you got a bad memory because you get hit in the head.
Yeah, I do get.
And you got a tiny finger because you sawed it off.
Yo, I got a big head for boxing. I shouldn't have this size head and want to participate in that sport.
Because
I got short arms and a big head for boxing.
You look like a T-Rex.
You have no.
I look like a
Yeah.
Yo, but my defense is impeccable. Mike Tyson voice.
No, you for real. No, you do have good defense.
You know what I mean?
Yo, there's been a couple of times where if you don't think I've known this, there's been a couple times where you've been training me and helping me out working on defense, and you've purposely hit me with punches.
Yeah, well, you don't move your head, bro.
Yeah.
Your head is too big.
Yeah, but one time you hit me and I felt that shit in my jaw. You fucked me up on the podcast. You fucked with my money, Holmes.
Yo, but Che is controversial.
Super controversial.
Super controversial. Like,
well,
you know?
I mean, I think all the Cuban. I mean, even Fidel Castro's extremely controversial. But you talk to some people, they're like, we don't see anything wrong with what he did.
Right.
Depends who you're talking to.
So, like, so it's interesting, right? So then Che goes on and he meets Fidel, right? And Fidel, and they
This is like the 1950s. We're talking.
Yeah, the 40s, the 50s, right?
Yeah.
And they bring up a team of like 60 to 80 heads, get on the boat, and they pretty much fucking overthrow like the government of Cuba.
Batista.
Long story short, Batista. And that shit was gangster the way they did it, because they only had 80 motherfuckers, right? And then they go and they're like hiding in the sugarcane fields. You know, like half the army died. They make their way up to the mountains. And these guys were influential. They were like, Yannis, mean but influential. They were smart. So they got these peasants, what they would call peasants, working the cattle in the mountains. And like, yo, we're going to free you guys. We're going to give you guys arms. We're going to give you your just due. And they did that. And then they penetrated and eventually overthrew the government.
the leader at that time, Batista, was pretty much running a dictatorship.
Yeah, absolutely.
At that point.
Which was always like with a strong relationship with the United States. Like, it was super touristy.
Yeah.
Mobsters used to hang around Havana. And then you had these people in the mountains, which made up most of Cuba.
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing. You have the time with Cuba. First of all, like Cuba, even like the fact that they speak Spanish is just because Spain, the country of Spain, ruled them for like 300 years. They were just island people. They were they had all, science, doctors. They had all these great things that they did before the Spanish came. The Spanish came and conquered them for 300 years,
right?
Some odd. And then the United States helped them get their freedom from Spain finally. And it lasted about a year where Cuba was completely free. And then the U.S., without being so direct about it, indirectly enslaved the Cubans again through the corporations. They made them all, the sugar cane. The sugar was the big thing where pretty much 100% of Cubans had to work, to export the sugar. So that's where when Batista comes in, who's like, the pretty much the U.S. puppet. That's why Castro and Che and these revolutionaries come in and say, no, we were just ruled by Spain for 300 years. We're not going to be ruled by the United States. And really, for a good amount of time, like 20, 30 years, Cuba, who nowadays and for most of modern history, looks at the U.S. as enemies, for about 20, 30 years, Cuba looked at as the United States as allies and best friends because they were helping them get rid of Spain, and they were coming in and saying, we want to help you, want to do this. But then that slowly shifted. And then, of course, when Castro came in, USA became public enemy number one.
Right.
But,
absolutely.
but, and that's Sierra Madre.
Also, Cuba, at this time, it was the Cold War. So it was like just certain countries were, Team America, certain countries were Team USSR.
But the Cold War haven't even started yet when Castro was in those mountains with Che.
Oh no, we were in full swing.
Well, it was full swing, but I'm saying Cuba wasn't interest to Russia yet.
No,
not yet.
But it was kind of.
Yeah,
it was kind of because there was that element there, and Russia was supporting it.
Right.
So there was all these proxy wars happening, and Cuba was Cuba was on the front lines of that proxy war.
Well, yeah, Cuba.
Russia backed those kids. Russia was backing those kids.
Of course. Yeah. Cuba had their nukes there. Russia had their nukes there.
But even when they were rising up, it was like support was coming from Russia.
Yeah, it was. It was, I think,
USSR.
Yeah, the USSR. But there was a time where the U.S. and Cuba were getting along, and then we opened up as soon as those, make no mistake, as soon as those borders opened up again and we were allowed to go to Cuba, Sergio Chicon was on one of the first flights. That kid couldn't wait. You couldn't wait to get to Cuba. Yeah,
I was definitely interested in visiting the place. First of all, Cuba has some of the best boxes out there. The amateur team is off the hook, so I want to experience that. But I also want to just experience Cuba and see how
What did you think of Cuba when you went?
Also, baseball players. Let's not make no mistake. I mean, some of the best come from Cuba.
So what Che and Fidel wanted to do, what they had like really in common, they wanted to I feel, especially in the beginning of the revolution, they wanted to redesign mankind, and they wanted to be self-sufficient. They wanted to grow with their own land. They don't want to have to fucking rely on the United States. They want to do everything themselves. And that's admirable, because the United States always has their foot somewhere, right? And they heel on someone's neck, telling them what to do. And for Castro to be like, nah, fuck that, we're not doing that. Even though they had backing from Russia, I just thought that was fucking damn, these guys ain't taking no shit.
Yeah.
They're doing what the hell they want to do. And Cuba for a long time had free medical, free education, and everyone was on an even playing field.
Yeah.
A lot of people didn't like that because they lost their businesses or whatever.
Right.
And a lot of people were not happy with that. But I think that's an interesting I think you still get a sense of that too. Well, Cubans who are out there.
Yeah, well, because in Cuba, the kind of adage about it is they always feel like they're in a revolution. That's the spirit of those people. They always feel like they're revolting against something, and the fight is never over. That's what Castro used to say a lot. He would just say this war it's never going to end.
Right.
It's so the people believe that. And then I think with Che, what I found fascinating with Che is he must have gotten that revolutionary bug, because then he just started to wanted to start revolutions in Bolivia.
Right.
Then he wanted to do one in the Congo.
Right.
Right? Places that had nothing to do. he could somehow make it like, oh, this has something to do with Cuba, but it really didn't. It felt like he got a little revolutionary crazy.
Yeah, he was say that's the thing. Like a lot of people for a long time, Fidel kind of wore this hat. Like, what are you? What's this revolution? What's this revolutionary mean? And they said, oh, we're gonna have people are gonna be able to elect their own officials. That never happened, right? And he never said that he was a socialist, communist. They were like, what are you doing? Yo, Che was pretty upfront. Now I'm a communist. Everything is, everyone gets.
Because Castro would say, I'm not a communist.
Yeah, for a long time he didn't say that. And I think there was a little friction between them. There's there's no real information on it, but Che did try to internationalize the revolution, and it failed multiple times. He went to the Congo.
Yeah,
these motherfuckers believed in voodoo, and he's an antichrist. He was like, nah, this is about people. There's no such thing as voodoo dolls and all this shit.
Yeah, because they weren't about religion.
No,
Cubans are not really. People think they're big religious. Castro didn't believe in religion.
Well, communism. That's a big part of communism.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. No, but there's a lot of Catholics in Cuba now, so it's like you can easily think, oh, it's a Spanish, or Latino community. Oh, they're not.
They're not.
Yeah, they don't believe in it at all.
They could play baseball though.
Those kids can play
El
baseball.
Duque?
El Duque was nasty. But some of the boxers too, they're not aggressive, but they're super tactical. And it's interesting because that's the way the Cuban government or the revolutionary kind of operated. So their fighters kind of reflect that. You know what I'm saying? They're smart. They use their legs. It's interesting how they got some of the best fighters.
When he was in Bolivia, there was the penalty for somebody ratted him out, right? Wasn't there a turncoat in their crew, in Che's crew,
I don't,
allegedly?
I don't recall. I just know that he tried many times over to internationalize the revolution, but he ended up in Bolivia, and it was said that Fidel Castro was so busy in Cuba doing shit that he stopped financing and helping.
They were on their own in Bolivia.
Yeah, and the U.S. is behind that. You know what I'm saying? They were all about getting Che. And he had 12 men in these harsh conditions. They caught his ass.
Yeah, they caught him and they killed him.
Yeah, his body was never found. His hands were.
Yeah, but they actually never found his body?
Yeah. Oh, no. They found his body. They never found his hands. Someone got his hands as a trophy.
But didn't you say, but remember, what about the thing where they would tie them to the post with the honey? Remember that story you told me?
So going back to what Yannis said, Che is looked at as a hero because he was some consider him a humanitarian, he's a humanist, to the point where who'll sacrifice his own life for another human's better living, right? But on the flip side,
he killed some humans too.
He killed a lot, and it's vicious. Granted, these warlords, were these fucking guys who committed treason? Who knows? But some of the shit that went down, you're tying they said they tied dudes to palm trees and dumped honey all over them.
Oh boy!
And decided let's let the red ants get them.
Oh, the red ants!
So they got eaten alive by red ants.
Shit like that.
Took days to kill you, right?
Oh, that's brutal.
Yeah, that when he told me that, I was
brutal.
Like, whoa.
Because they eat you. They'll just eat you slowly.
You ever get bit by one red ant? That shit's painful.
They're actually they kill the most. Red ants kill the most. And nature, they consume the most.
And I believe it's the red ant that has not a 99.9, a 100% kill rate.
I
think it's 100. It's never been observed in nature where they haven't set up for a kill and not killed it.
Yeah, if they get on you, you're done.
It'd be hilarious. Someone Googles it and it's there's no red ants in Cuba. I'm like, oh, my bad.
Yeah.
No, people will hate on you.
I meant bees.
I meant termites. Don't judge me. Yo, Governor Patterson was a good mayor.
Yo,
that's a callback, guy. That's a callback right there.
Yeah. Yo, let me ask you. When you went to Cuba, did you see when you went to
early
Cuba?
in the podcast too.
You made a mistake within the first 3 minutes.
Yo,
I like this movie.
Yeah, he was the first. He was a black.
Was that the last podcast?
No, that was no.
I think it was the end of the last one.
No, Patterson.
Yeah, it's the end of the last one.
Oh, it was the last one, yeah.
So people ain't gonna know what the fuck we're talking about.
Yeah. Yo.
No, they know because they heard that one too.
When you went to Cuba, do they still is Che still immortalized there?
Yeah, well, the funny thing is, I went with two. It's hilarious. I went with my two buddies, and they're white, right? But they know more Spanish than me. It's fucking pathetic. I'm hiding behind them like that. Hola, and they're navigating me through a fucking
It's embarrassing.
Spanish-speaking
It made you
country.
question some of your decisions. As,
Yeah,
as
I mean,
grown
like,
up.
you know,
Why didn't
basically
you
I'm
learn
a fucking
Spanish?
fraud, is what
Yeah.
I'm trying to tell
What
you.
were you
I'm
doing?
a personal
Yeah.
trainer who
Yeah.
smokes American spirit
Yeah.
cigarettes.
Instead of
I'm a
instead
fucking fraud.
honestly,
all
instead
You're
of throwing-
Puerto Rican who doesn't speak Spanish.
I mean,
Yeah,
I'm just full
instead
of
of throwing
orange con-
fucking body shots at drug dealers, you could have fucking picked up a Rosetta Stone.
Yo, let me tell you something. It wasn't a body shot. When I robbed that drug dealer in 2002, it was headshots.
Yo, this guy robbed a
Headshots.
drug dealer.
Yo,
know.
headshots.
Yo, he's a different person when he's on that blizzy. But he's off. He's living good.
So what
though.
happened when you put out to Cuba? What happened?
Oh, so you know, I didn't really get that education out there. When I went out there, it was for like 6 days. It's beautiful. I'll tell you something about the people. Right off the
Fat
bat-
asses, right?
Jesus Christ! I'm trying to go to you, and you're like,
mean, yeah.
and you're like, yeah, all they fat asses.
Yeah.
Honestly, I didn't. Some beautiful women, but I didn't see like. What I felt off the
I was
bat
kidding.
is
I
safe.
wasn't- yeah.
No, you're an animal, and you will go there and flaunt your money and looks
Yeah.
to try to conquer the women.
That's what he would
El
do.
Blanquito.
Yeah, 'cause
right.
It's in
Think
you.
you're cute and shit.
Yeah, it's German. It's in the
It's
conquer.
in you.
Yeah.
You're conditioned to
Conquer that.
behave
Yeah.
and move around like that. You can't help yourself.
Yeah.
All right. So
Anyway.
what? So yeah.
So I right off the bat, I felt safe. Anywhere I went, what seems like a gutter, a project, a ghetto, is actually just very old buildings. The place is suspended in time. It's dirt and rubble. Some of these places where
Cars
they
from
live.
the 50s, right?
Yeah, it's cars from the 50s. So you walk through there, you're like, this shit looks scary. But then, you know, you see like fucking broken mortar, like, you know, this shit looks fucking wasted.
Like
it almost
war-torn.
kind of look like a little bit like a war zone, but it's just more old and decrepit more than anything. And people playing dominoes in the front. They're playing music. They seem relatively happy. I didn't see any drunks in the street. I didn't see anyone panhandling. I didn't see any violence. You know,
Were you in Havana too?
yes, I went to a lot of different places. We went, you know, a few different places, and that's the one thing. None of those things were highlighted. No violence, no drunk people, no like people panhandling. So there's something to be said about the people. They're full of a lot of
What about
pride.
like walking down like restaurants and stuff open? You could run in and out
So
of
you
stores.
get you my friends did some really good research, and we hit some really good spots like for food. But there's some dirtbag spots because they're limited resources. You can eat some shitty food.
Right.
Angelo hated it.
Yeah, our boy Angelo went there.
Angelo told me he hated
But
Why did
Cuba.
Angelo go out there?
Angelo's also
To
an
visit.
arrogant owl.
He's an arrogant owl,
So,
yeah.
you know,
Yo.
But he said the food was horrible.
Yeah.
He said the food was
a
horrible.
lot of people say that.
He said the same thing. It was like a lot of nostalgic beauty, kind of looking back in time, and like there's some beautiful, old 50s
But
facades,
after a
some
while, it's like
Art Deco.
I would
But
take my family there.
he said the food was awful. He said the people were alright. They weren't that like great friendly.
what about like a hotel? Like, could you stay in like a nice ass
See,
4-star
that's the thing with
hotel or?
Airbnb there.
Okay,
You know what I'm
but
saying?
was the house nice? The Airbnb?
Nah.
It was a whack
Nah,
ass house.
man. You know, the first place we stayed at was dope, and it
Like
was really
new
nice.
shit
So
and all
my
that.
bad, my memory it was of the last place, and it was like they had some hummingbirds in the backyard. That was really cool. You know, that fucks with hummingbirds.
Yo,
You know the actual humming is coming from the wings, right? Okay.
yo.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's
It doesn't come from the mouth?
Nah, it's from the wings, pa.
Wow.
Yo, so that's a Snapple fact.
That's the Snapple fact right there.
Yo. So you would go back though? You said.
I would go back, but I would go to further my education on like their history.
Are they educated like the Cuban people? Do they know all about their Cuban history? You
I-
think,
I
or
didn't
as much as an
interact-
American kid would know about their own
No,
history?
no. They definitely know their shit out there, and they seemed.
Like, do you still see pictures of Castro and Che
Yes.
and other revolutionaries?
Yes.
They're still there.
Yeah,
they're up all
absolutely.
over the island.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
But now what's happening is, so there was an embargo put on them, so they weren't able to trade with. The
Yeah, that's
United
why they
States.
got stuck in time.
Exactly. So now that's kind of being somewhat, not that it's been lifted, but they're able to put it like this. They're able to do Airbnb now. They were never able to do have
Right.
their own business going on. So a lot of things are happening.
But you
that are
won't see. You
interesting.
won't see. You can't see like a new car out there.
Nah, you won't see that shit.
They're not shipping it over there.
No, but people are they're a lot more lenient. The government's a lot more lenient with them opening smaller businesses. I'm not sure how it works, but there's a ration. They still have what do they call that? A ration.
They ration out food.
Right, yeah. But like, so you go to a convenience store in Cuba, and I'm like, finally, I get some food, and they have these women who are like dressed like scantily dressed.
Yeah.
Weird. They overemploy the convenience store. It's like a bunch of workers, and all they sell is Cocoa Krispies and cocktail onions.
Yeah,
That's
the
it.
that's the
It's fucking weird.
And like,
I'm like, where's the
and
milk?
nothing's on the shelves. Like, it's a desolate place.
There's a bunch of onions and Cocoa Krispies.
That's it. So it's stocked, but it's all with shit you don't really need.
Trivial shit. Oh, they'll have like cocktail umbrellas. Like, it's weird.
and there's
So, like,
like
Cocoa
four,
Krispies, but
four
no
people
milk.
working there.
There's mad people working there. I'm like,
So it's
yo.
like the inefficiency of communism.
Yeah,
kind of.
So,
it's
like-
kind of like, yes.
So like when you were with your Airbnb, even if you were like downtown centrally located, like to walk to the store and get something is just
Yo, dog, it's a super inconvenient place. I mean, I kind of like the fact that I wasn't able to get internet out there, but you got to go to a park.
yeah. Because why care about your family and what they need, right? Why check in on your seed?
Yo, it was a perfect excuse, babe. There's no internet. I'm breaking up.
You.
Yo, so you got to go to a park, got to get an internet card, and people are on there on Facebook and shit.
Oh, that's-
but that was nice to like
Break
away
up from that, right.
But yo, there's like, it's hard to maneuver, to move around there as far as getting food, like from a convenience store stuff. It's weird. You'll be walking down the street, there's like a pizza, there's like a shack, and some guy out of an oven selling pizza. It's weird.
Right. Was it good though? The pizza?
No, it was awful.
whack, right?
Mad whack.
Yo.
I mean, that's interesting to be in a communist country. That's not a common experience a lot of
No,
people
that's
have.
why I think it was
It's
fascinating that you've been
harder, man.
There's
So
not a
I
lot
had
of-
a great time, but I would never take the family. We're going to Cuba for vacation. It
Yeah.
doesn't seem like it's not convenient.
Yeah.
It's not like anything I'm used to, like for a family.
Are the people okay with it because they just don't know any different? You think you get that sense? Like that's just all they know?
I wish that's the one thing about the trip that I wish I would have been able to mingle with the people more. I didn't. You know, there was a few locals, and when I say locals, like the lady who ran the Airbnb, she knew English, and she was just like, "It's very nice that we're able to have our own business, but it's limited to what you can do." The general consensus of Cuban people out there, they seem pretty aloof, but like they didn't seem like on some dirtbag shit. You know, they seemed like they were just into their own thing.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, they might be tired. They might want something new. You gotta understand, Miami, where all their friends and family are, they're fucking flashing, money and fancy cars. That's gotta be like enough of this bullshit.
Well, the dark side of communism, I mean, critics of communism know it is like there's the one utopian side where like, for each his need, for, we give whatever you need. It's everyone's the same and blah, blah,
Right.
blah. But in reality, the amount of repression you have to do to keep that going always ends up in putting people in body bags and fucking.
Sure.
So Castro and Che,
Yeah.
they killed a lot of people.
Well, Castro,
If you go to Miami and say Castro's name or say it's like everyone in Miami's all Cuban and they all hate Castro.
Yeah.
right. Well, because
But listen,
they say Castro maybe killed Che.
Yeah, but this is the thing. I think it's like an interest on what people value, right? Like when you talk about like the beginning of the revolution, it was like we value human rights. People talk about the United States, the land of the free, but meanwhile we like jail the most people in the world. Like we have the biggest prison system. So it's like, what do you value and how are you really looking at this shit, right?
Right.
Because capitalism, a lot of people are kept on the bottom, and that's why they end up living a certain way, and that's kind of dirtbag, and it's like
Right.
that's a discussion you could kind of like
Go every way.
There's
Yeah.
there's flaws. There's
In
flaws
both.
in both. Yeah.
But I was always fascinated by that, like the ability to just be like, "Oh, this is a selfless act. I'm doing this to better my neighbor, my man." I
Right.
was like, "That's rich," and if you can apply that in different ways, that's a good thing to acquire.
Yeah.
If you don't think he's voting for Ocasio Cortez, you got another thing coming.
Hugo Chavez, he was.
No,
killer,
I'll tell you
man.
who he's voting
Yeah.
for.
Yeah.
He's voting for that blind guy who was.
Oh, Mayor David Patterson.
Yeah, Mary David Patterson.
I think he said blonde. I think he said blonde.
he was blind. Remember?
Yeah, I
And
know.
didn't he get accused of like?
He had eyes.
cheating on
Yo,
his
you
wife?
have Governor Patterson eyes.
I do. I look like I'm blind.
Yo,
I got tiny
that's
little
it.
beady eyes.
Yo, he looks like
Pull
he's
up
blind.
Governor Patterson.
Yo, Governor Patterson.
You
David
can
Patterson.
pull up Governor Patterson, ISIS.
You got Governor Patterson eyes.
I know. My eyes are so
Yo, that
close.
was dirtbag. 2 minutes into the podcast, I was like, I tried to drop some gems, and you
Yeah.
straightened me out real quick.
Yeah.
Yo, he got stretched out with that knowledge.
You're like, you tried to correct me too. You were like, he was the first
Yo,
black
you
mayor.
sighed. Like I
but
moved
the-
away. You were
Yeah.
like, I'm gonna have to clean up this fucking mess. I'm
Yeah.
tired.
I was like, oh
I
god.
just did a weekend of shows, and I
Yeah.
gotta clean up his mess.
I was like, he's pulling the podcast in a direction where we just got to correct him.
No,
Yeah,
no,
no.
yeah. I mean, ISIS just can't spell. We also put up Governor David Patterson.
Wait, leave it.
He pulled up Governor Robert E. Patterson.
and he spelt it Pattisson.
Yeah. Yeah, we asked
Patterson.
to put Governor David Patterson. He pulls up Governor Robert Patterson, who's some guy from the 1800s.
Yeah, don't spell it the way.
There it is.
There it is.
Yay! You got Pattersonized.
Don't spell it like the Arabic. Spell it English.
David Patterson. There he is, folks.
Yeah.
Serge, thanks for
Oh
coming
wow,
on,
that's
brother.
dirtbag. Look at what he just. Go back. Go back to the other one.
Yannis
Yo, we'll post that picture on the Patreon.
Yeah.
Yannis Pappas has Governor David Pattersonized. Yo, Serge, thanks for coming on,
Yo,
Pop.
my
You got
pleasure,
anything
man.
to
Thank
promote?
You know what, man? I don't. What I am excited about is that we're doing a lot of shows together.
For real.
So when you see Chrissy D, you're gonna see the older guard opening up for him, and I'm excited about that. We got a bunch
Sergio
of shows.
Chicon, bring your raps.
Sergio Chicon on IG. I'm on there fucking
Yo,
around.
and what? Shout out your snake. Shout out your animal Instagram too,
yo,
Pop.
if you go on my IG account, you're gonna see some. You're gonna see.
No,
some
don't you have an
snakes.
own personal IG account for snakes?
If you guys are interested, but I'm
Tell
trying to
'em.
blow up my regular shit. No, you have to come to my regular shit, and then we'll get you. on the
Yo,
other
yo,
one.
wow, Sergio's screwed in.
Yeah, he's screwed in now. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's putting it behind a paywall.
All right, cuz he was. You know, we're at History Hyenas.
Thanks for having me,
At
fellas.
Christy Comedy on Instagram and at Yannis Pappas. Peace.